Good morning, stamping friends. I'm live again today. I apologize, I have a bit of a cold, so my voice is a little crackly today, but we're going to go ahead and do it anyways. So today I'm going to, and I forgot to introduce myself because I always do that. It's Tracy Frith. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Sherwood Park, Alberta, and I'm here live with you this morning to demonstrate a card made using the amazing Silhouette stamp set. So this is a set from our new January to June mini catalog, and I will also use a greeting from the Friendly Hello set, which is a set that you can earn from our celebration event that's happening right now. And this one you can earn with a purchase of $120 worth of product. It also comes with some designer paper, but we're not using that today. And I'll tell you more about that later. All right, so I'm just going to put those aside. So today, this is the card that we're going to make. And I tried to go a little bit outside of my comfort zone with colors today. So I am using Saffron is the yellow, basic white, polished pink, and soft succulent. And I was a little unsure when I got all the colors out. But once I put the card together, I was really pleased with how they go together. All right, so I will let you know what I have for supplies here. So we're going to start with a piece of Saffron. That's going to be our base. And this one I cut lengthwise. So I cut it at 4 1/4 and left it at the 11-inch length. And I scored it at 5 1/2. So most of the cards we do are cut at 5 1/2 and scored at 4 1/4. So this one's just the opposite direction from that. I don't want to score very nicely there. I'm going to turn that over because that side looks a little better. Okay, so that's my base. I have a piece of basic white that is 3 1/4 by 5, and that's going to be the inside of my card. I'll just show you the inside. So I just did a little bit of inking on the inside as well, just to give it a little bit of texture. My front of my card has a soft succulent mat that is 3 1/8 by 4. A polished pink mat that's a slightly smaller at 3 inches and 3 7/8. And then slightly smaller again is my white piece, my basic white, which is 2 7/8 by 3 3/4. And then I have a few smaller pieces for my tag. So I started with, for the tag, my white piece is 2 5/8 by 3/4. My polished pink is 2 3/4 by 7/8. So just a little bit bigger again. And the soft succulent is 3 by 1. All right, so those are all my card pieces. I'm just gonna get out a couple pieces, doing all the stamping on the white today, so I'll just get those ones all out and I'll get started. So I'm going to start with my main focal piece here. So for that, I'm using the soft succulent ink. And the nice thing about these stamps, they're a little bit different. They ink up the negative space, I guess, or the space around the image. So it almost looks like you've embossed the image and then sponged around it. I'm gonna make sure I'm in the view here. All right, so I'm gonna get that hopefully kind of centered. Perfect, there we go. All right, and then my other stamping that I'm going to do is just the greeting, so I can put that aside. And the greeting I'm using from the Friendly Hello set, and it just says, hope you have the best birthday. So I want to get this pretty close to centered here. I'm just trying to move over a little bit. I have a bit of a lump in my table. Sometimes it affects the stamping. All right, hopefully it's centered and straight. Oh, pretty good. All right, those can go away. Right, and then one last thing before I do my punching out. So now I'm going to take the polished pink ink. And for those of you that are new to stamping and Stampin' Up, these are the classic Stampin' pads, is what the ink is called. All right, so I'm just going to kind of run my brush across my pad, and I'm going to grab a piece of scrap paper here, and I'm going to tap that off a little bit. Let's get a little bit more ink on there. Tap that off, and then I'm just going to go on to the corners of my card piece. And just do a little bit of color. So I just did that on opposite corners. That's all I want to do for that. So just really subtle. All right, now we can start putting the card together. So other than it took me forever to figure out the dimensions of the tag, other than that, it came together pretty quickly. All right, so for my tag, I am using not that punch. I'm using the, what's it called? Lovely Labels Pick-a-Punch. So it has two different labels, shapes on it. Maybe you'll be able to see it a little bit better from the end. And each of those shapes has three different, you can see there's little slots here. So there's three different widths that you can punch on those stamps. I can't remember the exact dimensions other than the biggest one I think is 1 inch. It's probably 1 inch, 3/4 of an inch, and 1/2 inch. So I've taken a little bit of liberty with that. You can, once you get your paper in, and these is a little small strip, so it's a little bit finicky, but it does work. So once I get it in, on the back side, I can see where it lines up, so I can get it a little bit centered to where I want it there, even if it's not exactly one of the three sizes that it's meant to punch out. So I think I have mine, my three pieces are not the same three sizes because I didn't have as big a border. And it just trims the end off like that. So I do that on both sides. And once you've got one end off, it makes your piece a little shorter. So again, it's a little bit harder sometimes to grab onto. And get it lined up here. I think that's pretty good. There we go. All right, so there's my first piece. And then I'm just going to do the same thing with the other two label matte shapes. Which one did I use? That one. Okay. Make sure I'm using the same side of the punch here. I hope everybody's able to stay warm. We're back in another bit of a deep freeze here in Alberta. I haven't been out in a few days because of my cold. But I know it snowed lots yesterday. Oh, and I see we've got my mom joining us and Kevin joining us this morning. And I want to say happy birthday, Kevin. It's Kevin's birthday today. At least I think. That's what it says on Facebook. And one more piece here. This one should be a little easier because I think it is the full 1 inch. It's a little bit easier to line up. How are you feeling today, Kevin? I know Kevin wasn't feeling well the other day either. All right, there I have my tag ready to go. Put my punch away. All right, now I can start to put everything together here. So I'm just going to, again, I like my Tombow liquid mono liquid adhesive, I think it's called. So I'm going to use that to put everything together. You can use any adhesive that you're comfortable with. We have a nice tape runner, the Stampin' Seal. That also works really well. Some of you might like the tear and tape. Oh, good. Kevin says he's feeling better, so that's good to hear. Hopefully you're up and about again soon. I did do a test, a home COVID test the day my symptoms all came out, but it was negative. I haven't done another one yet because it doesn't matter for me. I have to stay home anyways from work, so I thought I would do another one when they start to go away a little bit more to see if I can actually go back to work or not. But regardless, I have to stay home for at least 5 days, so figured there wasn't any point in wasting another one of our tests because they're really hard to come by right now. So the tag, I'm just adhering all the layers together flat at first. And then I'm going to put them up on dimensionals when I put them on the card. So while I'm putting everything together, I am hoping to try and get back on and do a second Facebook Live later today. So I'm not sure if it'll be this afternoon or this evening. It just depends on, I've got a few things that I have to do for work and I have to talk to other people to get them done. So it depends on when everyone's available. Just to talk about some of the exciting things that are going on right now with Stamping Up. We've got a bunch of stuff happening. We had new catalog that just went live yesterday. So our mini January to June that this stamp set is out of, as well as our celebration started yesterday. So I wanted to talk a little bit more about those two things. And then our team has some exciting events happening this month as well, so I'll fill you in on those. So if you just keep posted, I will set a time and give a heads up warning of when I'm going to go live for that and record the video as well, so it'll be available to watch later if needed. All right, so again, that just goes on to the front of the card flat, and then my tag piece I put on with dimensionals, which I've discovered are really, really hard to get off the sheet in one piece with my longer nails with the gel polish on. I don't usually have my nails done up like this, and I usually keep them pretty short. So I've been struggling with that, trying to put my cards together. I quite often will get the top piece peeled off before I'm ready. Okay. Oh, tweezers. That's a good idea, Kevin. I know. I never remember to do that with the dimensionals. I've gotten much better at using my take your pick tool for putting rhinestones and stuff on. But I guess I like the hands-on more than the tools, and I never my go-to. I'll have to practice that. All right. So I did debate yesterday on putting the greeting a little bit more up here, but and moving everything down a little bit, but I liked this look. For the front of the card, it just made more sense to me, so that's what I did. You can do your own thing if you want, though. That's the beauty of making your own cards. You can do whatever you want. So I did, I often will go to Pinterest to get ideas for cards, and this one, I can't remember who, I should have looked that up, who first did, but I actually took it from, I took a couple different cards that I liked and kind of mushed them together to make this idea. And the other thing that I'll do is if I see a stamp set that's similar to an older one that I've had in the past, I'll actually look up that old stamp set on Pinterest and see what people have done with that one and try and apply it to the new stamp set. So you can see too on this one I made a little bit of a bigger border on the inside than I normally do. Normally I make that go a little bit closer to the edges, but I wanted to have more of this with saffron showing. All right, so there's the card. Outside and inside with just a little bit of stamping. All right. So if any of you are interested in ordering any of the products, I will post a link to the new catalog. So the annual catalog is still in effect. And then the new January to June mini catalog has lots of kind of spring, Valentine, Mother's Day, Father's Day type things in it. And that one, I will post a link to that one. I think the annual catalog, I already have it up on somewhere. I think it might be on my Stamp with Tracy Facebook group. But if you're interested, the host code for January is here. I'll post that as well in the description with the supplies and my shopping link for today's project. And then my last thing to do today was I was going to do a draw for the card that I did last week. So that was this one. So for anybody that commented or shared my post, I had a couple people do that last week. And the winner was Mom, so Alice. All right, so Mom, I'll give you one of those. I won't put it in the mail because hopefully at one point I'll actually see you. Yeah, so same for next week. If you share my post or comment on my post, and I'm going to expand it to if you like my post for this one, I will draw and you can win one of the cards that we did this week. All right. And again, stay tuned for later today, and I will go live again with just an overview of what kind of things are happening this month for stamping. All right, have a great day, everybody, and take care, stay warm, and I will see you all next week or later today.